Let's draw baby Ganesha. We'll use colored pencils. First, sketch very lightly and loosely the outline idea for baby Ganesha. Then when you have the idea almost ready, make cleaner lines so you have an outline of what baby Ganesha will look like. My baby Ganesha has a trunk that is going up because he'll hold a flower at the end, and his tail is up also. I made him smile, and I gave him a headpiece that I will make into gold. He'll also have jewels on it. Since I decided to make him as a baby, I decided to use light colors. I'm going to use pinks and violets, purples, and some gold and yellow. For the gold parts, start out with a regular lemon yellow. And then you can take a light brown and go over certain areas, because when you do that, it looks like the gold is reflecting and it looks like real gold. The gold will look darker on the outer edges and lighter in the center. There will also be some reflections that look darker because it's being reflected from the outside. I'm making a design around the gems. You don't have to add this if you don't want to, but it makes it look a little more ornate. Here's his eye. I left a little white dot for a highlight, and I gave a little bit of eyelashes, but not too much. Now I used a light lilac, and I started to color in his body and his face. Around the perimeter and underneath the gold areas, I went a little bit darker with a shade of violet. A little bit later on, I made that a little bit darker. I'm not pushing too hard right now because it's only the beginning. In the center of this area, I made a gemstone. I colored in certain areas and left certain areas lighter so it looks like it's reflecting, just like a real gem would. I thought this would look like a ruby if I used the right colors. You can see it a little more clearly on here. Now I'm changing the color and using the light lilac again. The other one was a fuchsia color. Now the first little decoration on his trunk will be blue, the second a very light green, and the third that same pinky red. I also want those to look like gemstones also. I'm going to take some yellow and go around the outside because I decided that I wanted that to have a look of gold too. Now this is a deeper yellow, and I find that that makes the gold look lustrous and realistic. I drew a square on the inside with some lines coming out of the corners. And then I started to fill in some of the boxes with that fuchsia, some with pink, and I left some white to make them look like rubies and gemstones also. I'm back to the violet because I still don't think that he looks dark enough yet. That's the same color as I used before. I'm pushing a little bit harder because I feel a little bit more secure that I'm going to like that color for him. I'm still not pushing too hard. If you push very hard when you color, it makes it shiny and then you can't correct it or go over it with more colors. I'm putting a violet shadow behind his ear, underneath the gold areas, and around the edges of his body to give the idea of shape. If it's darker on the sides and lighter in the center, it accentuates the curve and makes it look a little round or cylindrical. I really like the way he looks so far. I'm using a little bit of black underneath his crown and on the edges of the crown or the hat, just for some extra definition. I'm going over those gold areas again to give it more depth and to make it look like real gold. Don't color it all in with that one color. The variety of colors makes it look more real. Always take your time when you use colored pencils. And it doesn't really matter what type you use. I like Crayola, Prismacolor, and everything in between. Colored pencils are somewhat transparent or see-through. So when you use a layer, meaning if you put one color on his body and then you go over it with another color, you'll still be able to see the color underneath it. So you'll be able to get a lot of detail and a lot of different looks. This is a magenta, and I'm going over the edges of his body with this slightly more bold and more intense color. After I finished filming, I did make his body and his face, and I guess everything else, slightly darker. And now here is the flower. I used a green stem, that magenta on the bottom, right next to the stem, and then I used a lighter color for the petals. You can use any colors you like here, or on any part of this video. I went over the petals separately to give some definition. I think baby Ganesha is so cute and he came out so nice. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon. Here's baby Ganesha finished. See you soon with more drawing. Bye.